Hi, welcome back to Comic Book Gallery. I'm your host, Joaquin. How are we doing today, people? So, as you can see, I am filming in my usual spot, which is Northgate or North Seattle Community College. So I have a Saturday morning class, and the library is open till 4, so after class, I like to come in here and start to try to make videos. So today's video, as you can see, is Warlock in the Infinity Watch, number 9. It's an Infinity War crossover, and the captions are Thanos and the Galactus take Gamora from here to eternity. Dun dun dun. First of all, I do like the art on this. Both of them having her like a little puppet. And for those of you who are like big Guardians of the Galaxy fans, this is a cool comic to add to your collection. I mean, I would get it. I don't think it's ever really going to go up in money, but I have a nice little reader copy. So you have Eternity and Galactus here, and the Living Tribunal. I don't want to give it all up, but at one point, they go back into her history. Just want to make sure I'm not. And so as you can see, she's like, walking through a spaceport, just minding her own business. Doing her things. When she gets attacked, okay? And being Gamora, at first, she just whoops on them. But then in the next panel, it's like, the weight of sheer numbers overwhelmed me. But even then, I had no idea how bad my circumstances were. So at this point, they're threatening her, and she's like, well, I'm the ward of Thanos, of Titan. Let me loose, you're making a big mistake. And the guy's like, oh, I'm scared, right? And so he has his knife, and I mean, look how graphic they get with this in the next panel. Look at the face, and then he's up to no good. Then they show, and then right here you hear her in pain. And so they're pulling these memories from her. And then Thanos comes and he finds her. And he's like, Lass, why didn't you hear? Lass, like, I don't know why they made Thanos sound like an Irishman. But Lass, why didn't you hear my warning? Now look at you, such a foolish child. So apparently Thanos gets there a little late. But you see the outcome. But Thanos just comes in here and kicks all their butts. Probably doesn't even break a sweat. And he picks her up and he's like, poor Gamora. You didn't realize what a harsh universe awaited you outside the whole of Sanctuary 2. I suppose I'm partially to blame. I have tried to protect you against it, girl. Should have realized I could not always be by your side. You'd eventually have to step out on your own and stumble. And she's like, I'm sorry, Thanos. So, when you see just this reaction. I mean, these are great panels. So, that's where I'm going to leave it off. Because I would like you to read this book. Now, I know in other videos I've done in the past, I have broken down. But this is more about getting your interest into reading about, Warlock and Infinite Watch. They had some cool stories, but you have a better understanding of, oh my God, Thanos and Gamora's relationship. So when you see the movie and she mocks him and says, you love nothing, and he looks at her and a tear comes out, he's like, no, you're the one I love, even though he's got a daughter. And in the movie, they explain what happened to Nebula. Now, as far as Nebula goes, I don't think she went through that kind of abuse in the comics. And I'm pretty sure she is the daughter of Thanos, but I don't know if she is or she isn't. It was just something that um, I didn't really look into or I didn't read up on to at the time because I'm not the biggest fan of when it comes to Cosmos. It's like I'm a fan of it, but like I have a buddy whose name is Ed, and he's in Vegas, so I call him Vegas Ed because I know another Ed up here. Actually, I know two Eds up here, so I have to give everybody nicknames. So Vegas Ed, he's always keeping me in touch with anything that's going on in space. And so he would, like when the Annihilation series first came out, he's like, "Oh, you got to read this." And with DC, and he'll point out like Green Lantern books and stuff like that, or anything interesting of the space continuity. So he would know all these type of answers. But this book was just like, I was just blown away. First of all, I was blown away on the implied violence in this book and the fact that it opens up with, Galactus, Eternity, and the Living Tribunal. And I'm like, whoa, this story is crazy. But it's such a good story. That's why I don't want to add anything else to it because I don't want to ruin it for you. So Adam Warlock, these stories take place after the Infinite Gauntlet. So they decide Adam Warlock gets the gems, and then they all look at him and they're like, "Well, what are we going to do with you?" He's like, "Well, don't worry." And he vanishes from them. Basically, it's like him and Silver Surfer. And so all these people that you see here, Drax the Destroyer, Gamora, Moondragon, and I forget the other guy's name offhand because it's been a while since I've read the book. This guy right here. They all have the gems. So that's why it's called Adam Warlock and the Infinity Watch. And I'm really looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy 3. And I hope they do put Adam Warlock in there because they were setting it up before everything fell apart. And I had a feeling that Guardians of the Galaxy was it supposed to come before Infinity Wars or even Endgame, more important? Like, I just feel like with James Cameron being booted, that it just threw everything for a loop. And that the third Guardians of the Galaxy was not supposed to have Thor in there, nor are they supposed to be looking for Gamora, which it sounds like that's what they're going to do. And so I don't know if they're going to scrap the whole Adam Warlock, which is a shame because Adam Warlock is an interesting character when it comes to the Infinity Gauntlet. And I feel that his presence should be brought into the MCU. So if you feel the same way, leave a comment below. If you're new to my channel, hello. Thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed the content. I'm going to try to start doing a video or two a week and getting back to doing at least one sketch video a week. So this is like a cool cover that if you want to, as a young artist and you're copying covers, like the perspective on this cover looks pretty good. I mean, first of all, perspective is very hard to do anyway, especially when it comes to foreshortening. And a lot of artists get this part wrong, right? So normally Thanos is not the size of Galactus. But in this picture, it does not matter, right? What matters is that to have a proper perspective for this artist to make it show that she's a puppet, they made them both sides, both the same sides. And you see Gamora now and Gamora in her past, which I thought was also cool. I mean, this book came out in I don't even know when the book came out. And I don't want to look into it. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I didn't want to start opening up the book and spoiling anything else. So it's 1992. And again, the reason why I brought that up, because look at the cover price, people. $1.75. I mean, this is back in the days when you could, take $20 and get like 6 books, 7 books, maybe even more, depending on tax. Get like 9 books practically. The glory days. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed this video. Adam Warlock, or is it just Warlock and the Infinity Watch? But what I really enjoyed about the story was learning about Gamora's past, and this is a great book to pick up. Catch you later, people.